Hello, this is Sid, and you're listening to The Economic Story. Over the last few years, I have gained a deep interest in markets. First, I spent time reading about it, then listening to books, and then listening to commentary on markets. Next, I spent considerable time playing in the markets, analyzing, trading, observing, thinking, well, everything you can think of. During this time, I've been through essentially a journey along with the markets, a journey of an emotional roller coaster. At times, the market drove my curiosity high. At times, it excited me. At times, it tried to break me. All in all, it was not a journey for the faintest of hearts. But if you have been fortunate enough to be on one, it is the journey of a lifetime. When you hear people talk about the market and how it moves about, there is always a reference to emotions. Mania, panic, euphoria, despair, etc. I agree. To what I found, emotions are definitely involved, not only on your side, but also on the side of the market. Market displays a fair bit of emotion. Thus, no surprise that many people, especially in the past, used to refer to the market as Mr. Market. Now, obviously, you can't ignore the gender bias that is clearly being carried by that phrase. Perhaps it is reflective of a scene in Wall Street at a certain point in time. Regardless, there is a personality that gets tied to the market, and I'm here to talk about my perception of that personality. So it must be clear by now that, to me as well, the market appears to have a personality. And I believe, as in any relationship, if you understand that personality, you tend to do better in that relationship. So as I worked in the market, I had to develop an understanding of that personality. And I always tried to act based off of my understanding of how the market might react to a given situation. No, the picture is not necessarily very clear, very perfect. However, it is good enough, and it is developing. Anyway, let's move forward. If you ask me to describe the personality of the market in one sentence, this is how I might describe it. The market has a multipolar personality with a binary language, along with a vision problem and short-term memory issues. Wow, that's quite a bit in one sentence. Actually, that is very sad. But I'm glad that's not a person. It is the market. And the market functions fairly well in spite of these issues. Anyhow, let me elaborate one point at a time. 1. Market has a multipolar personality. What do I mean by that? See, at any point in time, the market carries multiple theories. Theories about if this happens, what does that mean to prices? And it keeps on switching between these theories. The prices keep on switching from one level to another. But it's not necessarily just between two theories. It's multiple theories out there. Sometimes it gets very excited. Other times it throws tantrums. Sometimes it goes into a very somber mood. All in all, it just keeps switching between these kind of theories, these ideas, and its mood switches quite a bit. Next, market has a binary language. Now, this one should be very clear. See, the market can only express in two ways. One, it goes up. Other, it goes down. So it technically has only a binary language. Either it's up or it's down. So that's all you get from the market in terms of its expression. And you can decipher all day around as to what it means. But it is only going to express at any point in one of those two signs, up or down. Number 3, market is blind. Well, this one is a little bit more difficult to explain, but you will understand it if you really understand the way the market moves. And the way the market moves is it checks different levels, it touches them, feels them, tries to test the strength of it by pushing into it and sometimes pulling away from it. So basically it feels its way, it touches and feels its way, rather than seeing different levels and moving accordingly. So there is a sense that it needs to touch to decide whether to move forward or not. It needs to push, and sometimes it also falls and stumbles, which is not so typical if it were able to see properly. And sometimes it also keeps coming back to the same place again and again, as though not knowing it has already been here. So there is a sense that I have developed that makes me feel like the market's essentially blind. Number 4, market has a short-term memory issue. This one is somewhat easier to understand, but again, some people may not understand it if they haven't interacted with market on a day-to-day basis. So what happens is, one day, and that's it. The news that you got yesterday tends to be too old. So if there is some sort of a news that came through and the market was jubilant about it and it rose based off of that news, the next day comes in, another news comes in, and it may not be as important, and it might completely go down to the same level it came up from, reflecting the point that it basically forgot what happened the previous day. So this thing happens again and again and again. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it completely forgets every single thing, but it tends to forget from day-to-day basis. In general, in the long run, it does have a longer-term memory. It does remember, let's say, the direction of interest rate rises or cuts, and it behaves accordingly. So those are there. It tends to in general understand the direction of earnings growth and stuff like that as well. But on a short-term basis, it does have a memory issue. In conclusion, I'd say the market seems to have a personality and it displays emotions. And if you ask me to describe the market's personality in one sentence, I would say the market has a multipolar personality with a binary language, along with vision problems and a short-term memory issues. Thank you.